If you're an entrepreneur or business owner actively trying to lose weight, I mean genuinely, you are just desperate to lose some weight and it's not happening, this episode is for you. I'm going to be sharing with you, for me, the 5 main reasons why people don't lose weight. This follows on from the last sort of month or so's episodes where I've just really tried to simplify what people overcomplicate when it comes to managing their training, their food, their health and lifestyle in pursuit of a better body, and for many people listening to this, a leaner, fitter body. I genuinely believe that people drastically overcomplicate their fitness journey and are looking for this golden blueprint to build a better body. And the truth is, everyone has different personal circumstances, different professional circumstances, different relationships that can influence behavior. But what I'm going to share with you in this episode are, for me, 5 core things that, irrelevant of what you do, where you're based, however long you've been training, etc. These are the 5 things that, for me, prevent people from losing weight. And what I encourage you to do as I go through these 5 things, and it's going to be a really short episode today, is audit yourself across these 5 areas and things and look at where you can easily improve to accelerate your fat loss and weight loss, and basically look the way you want to. So for me, probably the number 1 reason people don't lose weight, if they've spent a matter of months or years trying, is they simply don't have accountability. One of the main reasons people join Built to Last is accountability. Often the business owners and entrepreneurs we work with, they have accountability in every other area of their life. They're very accountable to themselves in their business and with their family and people they have to look after and manage, but they simply outsource their accountability when it comes to managing their food, training, movement, lifestyle to us. And it's no coincidence that with that accountability, they have incredible results. But if you are someone who is struggling with your weight loss and you don't have accountability, I can almost guarantee that your chances of success and following through on your weight loss, not just short term but long term, would elevate immensely with genuine hands-on accountability. So in relation to accountability, all I'd ask you to do now is ask yourself a simple question. In relation to the body weight shape I want, do I have accountability? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, where do you think you'd be with accountability? Because if you've been going around in circles for a number of months, for a number of years, if you keep doing the same, and more specifically behaving the same, then nothing's going to change. But accountability is absolutely king if you want consistency with how you look and how you feel, and all the other metrics that come with having a healthy body across a 12-month period. The second one, and I've probably spoken about this on multiple podcasts now, approaching 100 podcasts, and this is maybe stating the obvious, but the second reason people do not lose weight is overeating at weekends. I would say from a genuine, I would say that is the number 1 thing to do with food of why people don't lose weight is overeating at weekends. The amount of people that are disciplined with their food Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday, perhaps if they're lucky, would be, a relatively high number. But the amount of people who then down tools, who overeat at the weekend, is the core reason for me is why we have a genuine crisis globally with obesity and, of course, all the other health risks that come with that. Now, in relation to overeating, again, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you overeat at weekends? Yes or no? Because until you get a grip on that, you will forever be going round in circles. I genuinely believe that, especially for the the modern day entrepreneur business owner, it isn't down to the diet plan, which is going to dictate whether or not you have the shape and the weight you want. It's going to be how you manage the weekends. And if you look at this logically, as I've said many, many times before, there are 52 weekends in a year. That makes up 104 days. That's nearly a third of a year. So if we are consistently overeating at weekends, that is a third of a year where we are creating a massive handicap that we somehow need to make up around that. And for me, I just don't think it's possible, because most people that overeat the weekends, they don't just overeat by a couple of hundred calories, it's often thousands. And remember, if you are trying to lose weight, it's going to be down to your average daily calorie intake across 7 days, every week, every month, across the year. It's going to dictate your average body weight across each month, across the calendar year, in relation to your movement, of course. But if you're overeating at weekends, ask yourself, if I keep eating like this, am I more likely or less likely to meet my expectation of the body weight I would desire? And if the answer is no, what are you willing to do about it? Something has to give. Something has to give. How you manage your food will dictate how you look and the body weight you have. There is no skirting around that. Number 3, and this sort of ties in with this, it's unaccounted calories. So many people that we've worked with and work with right now are often scratching their head. I'm doing everything, but I'm not losing weight. I'm eating good food, I'm training, I'm moving, I'm getting my sleep in, but I'm not losing weight. Whenever we have magnetized that person's food intake, and what we do inside Built to Last, for example, is we literally would ask for videos and pictures of every single food, snack, drink, or both, or all three, that particular client is consuming. Because, as I've said on previous podcasts, you can be tracking your calories from your view with the best intentions and with discipline, and you could be thinking you are tracking your calories with accuracy, if that's your thing. But the pictures and the visuals of everything you put in your mouth do not lie. And so often the main reason why people are not dropping weight, if they say they're doing everything right, is they are drastically underreporting calories and being deluded with the calories they put in their mouth. And that often comes from the restaurants they eat at, the takeaways and the deliveries, etc. they order in from, because they're not in control of making this food. So the main reason why people underreport calories isn't down to the food they maybe make themselves. It's down to the food that they're either outsourcing or eating out at restaurants. And that's going to be, for many entrepreneurs and business owners, every weekend, which is 104 days, every holiday, every birthday, every celebration, which can equate to, from my experience, nearly half a year where you haven't managed your food because, if you're anything like me, you have no desire to, or your lifestyle doesn't allow that. But if think about this logically, if you are even just having every single weekend where you're underreporting calories, even if you were doing that by a couple of hundred calories on every Saturday and a couple of hundred every Sunday, you accumulate that across a calendar year, it's thousands and thousands of calories, which are going to equate to more body weight than what you want. So if you really want to get a grip on your weight loss, you have to be so diligent with and honest with your calorie counting. And I really advise, whether you work with us or not, to really take pictures of everything you eat if you aren't 100% certain that you are tracking your calories properly or accounting for the food volume that you eat accurately. Number 4, it's really simple. I think the reason why most people are overweight, or the reason why the people that are overweight is that they're not consistent. It's inconsistency. being consistent with food doesn't guarantee that you're going to have your dream body, but being inconsistent with food and your training and your movement guarantees you won't have the body weight and the shape you want to. If I was to do an audit on every single person I've ever coached in nearly 2 decades of coaching, the main difference of the people who follow through and have the weight, the shape, the body, the confidence they want, as opposed to those that don't and forever yo-yo, is consistency. But consistency comes from what you do, the choices you make, and the actions you take. And the question you need to ask yourself in relation to consistency is, in the past 12 months, as an average, would you consider yourself a consistent, healthy eater, a consistent, healthy gym goer, a consistent person who moves regularly, or not? And again, if you don't like the answer to that question, what are you willing to do about it? Because you could listen to this podcast over and over again and other podcasts and follow different Instagram posts, YouTube videos. Until you master consistency, nothing will change. You know, one of the things I'm absolutely obsessed with anyone who works with us is creating consistency. I have absolutely no desire to help someone build consistency for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and then fall backwards, because there's nothing worse than feeling great and then feeling like shit because you've lost your consistency. No one, if you ask them hand on heart and look them in the eye, no one is happy being inconsistent. So do you consider yourself a consistent person or not when it comes to your health? And if the answer is no, who can help? What do you need to do? What do you need to change? And my challenge to you is, if you are listening to this, it's likely you've achieved success in your career and you've had to demonstrate consistency in your career. You pushed through adversity. You've had to develop habits that maybe you didn't want to do at some point. How do you create that consistency in your career and your business? And how can you carry over those traits when it comes to managing your food, training, movement, etc.? Then lastly is environment. Now, environment, again, I've hammered this point home on so many podcasts because I really believe it's the missing link to long-term behavior change and consistency. The people you spend time with, the places you go, will dictate your behavior and choices, especially when it comes to food. And if you're not losing weight, one of the things that can make being disciplined easier, being consistency easier, is setting up your environment, your physical environment, your emotional environment, and your peer group that you are connected to, is setting that up so it's aligned to the health and the body weight and the shape you want. Surround yourself with healthy eaters, healthy people. You look at your kitchen environment or your office environment, basically where you tend to eat. Are the foods, the snacks, whatever it is that's in those cupboards, are they helping the body weight you want, or are they hindering it? Because even with the greatest will in the world, if you have an environment which is packed with shit, sugar, snacks, hyperpalatable food, even for the most disciplined people on the planet, at some point you're going to be stressed, you're going to be bored, you're going to be anxious. There's going to be an emotion that triggers you with an urge to eat something. And if your physical environment isn't conducive to the body weight you want, or it doesn't have great options, then you're going to eat it. So it's a really, really simple thing. If you can't see it, you can't eat it. And then, as I've said many times before, your peer group, the people you spend time with, honestly, consciously and subconsciously, there's no more powerful force that's going to help you stay accountable, be consistent, eat better at weekends, and likely as well, be more congruent with the calories you put in your mouth. Basically, all the points we spoke about today. But just ask yourself now, is my environment likely to contribute towards the body weight I want or not? And again, what are you willing to do about it? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. But I would audit yourself on those 5 things. I would audit, do I have accountability, yes or no? Do I overeat at weekends, yes or no? Do I underreport calories, yes or no? Am I consistent, yes or no? And is my environment set me up to have the weight, the shape I want or not? And then if you want to be more granular than that, is identify from those 5 things, what is the main Achilles heel that is holding you back? Even if you just focused on one first, so often when you focus on the main problem, it can improve the other 4. And by default, improving those 5 things will naturally manage your calories better, keep you healthier, and you'll be more content with the body shape and the weight you want. So there's the 5 reasons for me that people don't lose weight, but you always have an opportunity to change whenever you want, but you have to take responsibility. Okay, there is no magic pill. Unfortunately, some of the bullshit that we see on social media and YouTube. But I guarantee if you have these, you do these 5 things or look to improve these 5 areas, then having a better body weight and body shape is inevitable. So, as always, if you found this valuable, I'd really appreciate, if you sort of shared, comment, liked, shared with a friend. As I said, my promise with this podcast is just to simplify what it actually takes to get and stay in shape and live a healthier lifestyle, while still having fun. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.